Good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Knuckle Racing Xfinity Series A Division race at Pocono. For those of you that tuned in, I was racing the B Series race or B Division race at Pocono a few minutes ago, and now I'm going to be broadcasting this event. It's going to be a good one for some of you who may not know yet. We have some changes that came about in the last couple weeks here, and we took kind of downsized the roster or the field here a little bit in this Xfinity A series. So we still have the teams here, so we'll look forward to some of these guys working together. But all of them are going to be in the same party chat, so that's something to look forward to here. These guys are qualifying right now. Give them a few minutes as I get the rest of this set up here. All right, we have these guys qualifying right now. Like I said a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago, we still have the teams in Xfinity A. So we'll go through that real quick here. For Hendrick, we have J-Mac, Respect the Clout, and Citrus. For those of you that haven't heard yet, Coach Matt is no longer the captain of Hendrick. Meesme will be the captain of Hendrick. Um, he'll be working this weekend to get his team filled out and squared away the way that he wants it. For JGR, we have Y'all Ain't Ready in the 18, Kay Schmiller in 20, Masopes in the 54. RCR, we have Dallas Stars in the 6, Sporty Morty in the 16. Quick shout out to him for helping me set up this lobby tonight since I was going to be up here in the booth. I cover someone, they cover me. We all work together, so thank you, Sporty. We have for Roush in front row, we have T-Berg in the 36. TCW in the 90 was not able to make it tonight. He's had some local storms in his area, cutting out his internet. So we'll be missing him tonight. Look forward to seeing him on the track next week. We have Don't Want None, who's also not able to make it, but that was expected. And Dude Redneck will be filling in for him tonight in the 92. For Stuart Haas, we have King Shadow in the 5, Muscle Cars in the 78, and L7 Luke Caps Don Gingiss. I still didn't say it right. I tried. In the 98 car. So, like I said, they're qualifying right now. We'll be waiting for the order to come here shortly. For those of you tuning in, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and also follow us on our social media accounts that we have on Instagram and Twitter. White Knuckle Racing, Racing spelled as RCN. So you guys go ahead and make sure you follow, subscribe, drop some likes. So now there are a couple drivers that I think we have got to keep our eyes on here throughout the race. I know Sporty Morty's he's had this track circled since preseason, really, since the schedule came out. He's been looking forward to this tricky triangle here at Pocono, and if I'm not mistaken, this is his home track. So, if a lot of us drivers and players like to make sure that we're good at our home tracks here. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. I expect him to qualify good, run good, and keep himself up front and be contending for the win at the end, as well as Citrus. I believe Citrus on Twitch is one of those guys that really enjoys this track. And as I say that, those are two guys I'll be keeping my eye on here, and if I had to put money down, that'd be on them. Citrus has really been putting in a lot of practice. Like I said, Sporty Morty, this is his home track. Like myself, Homestead's my home track, and I make sure I'm good there. No one wants to be below average and lose at their own home track. So with that being said, I just got a qualifying order here and an invite, so we will be joining on this race here shortly. We have Masopes on the pole. And second, we have King Shadow. No surprise at all, as both of those guys are always fast at every track they go to. And third, we have Citrus on Twitch, as expected. Fourth, J-Mac, who's also fast. Hasn't had too many Xfinity races under his belt this far, but he's always fast everywhere he goes in any series that he's in. So we got the green light here. Hopefully I can get the green flag in time as we join up. Once again, bear with me, guys. I'm not a broadcaster. I'm more of a shit talker than anything. So y'all sit tight and enjoy the race and mute me if you have to. All right. I looked away from the screen. Should have joined it. Fifth, we have T-Berg. Dude Redneck in sixth. Dude Redneck is in a hot seat tonight, so it's good to see him starting up on the outside of row 3. Sporty Morty is starting in midway through the field here in 8th. So he is a pre-race favorite here, which means absolutely nothing. Because I don't know everything about everyone. I just know he's very excited to race here. And we have the green flag as they're already off the turn 1 here. Very clean. The guys are giving each other space here exiting turn 1. Some of these guys, as I said, are running that middle lane. Exited kind of lower to make sure everyone stayed clean and stay off each other and kind of spaced out entering this tunnel turn here. As we have the leaders are still side by side entering that tunnel turn as we have... Ooh, wow, they all made it through there cleanly. So we have Masopes and we have King Shadow still in qualified the front row, and they're still there as Masopes going to have that advantage here on the inside line. But if King Shadow can really push his car to the limit exiting this corner on turn 3, he might be able to pull away with some help behind him on the draft on this front stretch, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. So good battle there for the lead. Looks like a lot of these guys are kind of sticking out. Oh, and they have a move to the inside here entering turn 1. That's going to be the 9 car of Citrus on Twitch. As we have Masopes here trying to let off early in the corner to try a crossover. That 8 car runs up high. You have Citrus on Twitch taking over the lead there. He might have passed about 2 or 3 cars there entering turn 1, and on exit, he's not going to have the run, but he's going to set himself up nice for the tunnel turn here. He's going to let off a little bit earlier, or he might be dragging that brake. He's going to send it in. Slide job. He's going to make a stick and stay off that wall, so King Shadow has an opportunity to come and do a crossover, but he's not going to do it here. He might be thinking twice. As Citrus overdrives that corner entering turn 3 just a little bit, just enough to give King Shadow a little bit of an opening here. As King Shadow has a little bit of help on his back bumper there. And as I say that, he loses it. And I think that's the 36 car there. So Masopes, after giving a good battle that first lap on that front row, oh man, he kind of messed up that entry there a little bit. He's gonna work his way back here, being a little bit more patient than some of these other guys after losing that front row starting, or I should say qualifying, that pole position. So now this is interesting. We have Citrus in the front here, and it's no secret that this is one of Citrus maybe not best tracks, but this is one he enjoys the most because he was very enthusiastic about this race. So now being in the rest of the field here, you might want to not fight each other too hard to make sure he doesn't get away from everyone else. That way you can at least have a good chance of getting some good stage points here and possibly a stage win. It's like 1 through 4, actually throughout the whole field here, they've kind of filed out single file. So we have King Shadow, after running up the hill a little bit there last lap, is going to regroup and has the 8 car behind him to kind of regroup and make another stab at it, make another go here as the 54 goes on the inside of the 36 of T-Berg. T-Berg's having a great run thus far. The 54 is going to take that tunnel turn a little bit deeper than everyone else, which has definitely proven to be a lot faster The only thing is that you don't have as much banking on the inside on that apron to really help your car turn. So sometimes later on in the run, without the grip that you have early in the run with those fresh tires, that sometimes this car will get loose. And I experienced that in the last race there. So it's definitely a gamble. Majority of the time it pays off. But you really have to hit it. You really have to hit it right. Otherwise, it's just not going to help you out or the guys behind you if you stack them up. So you see that we have a battle for the lead here. Looks like the 36 of T-Berg overdrives a little bit on entry of turn 1 there. On the exit, he's going to be able to regroup a little bit and get some momentum, especially with the cars behind him helping him catch up to Citrus. The 92 there, we just saw him on the front stretch in that 92 Star Bright machine. It's a great paint scheme there. So he's going to be one of those guys making that run on that tri over there, and is working out for him there. So that's Dude Redneck, one of our guys on the hot seat, or I should say filling in a seat for one of our full-time drivers tonight. So keep an eye on him there as he overdrives turn 3 a little bit. But he's made a couple moves here. Oh, we have a spin here. Is that T-Berg on the turn 3? Yes, looks like he might have hit himself on that, got his left side tires on that rumble strip. Lost his grip, and that's going to bring out a caution here. So I do believe that these stages are about 11 laps, 10, 11 laps long here in each stage. So this is going to bring out some strategy here. Some of these guys are going to be able to go the entire way on fuel, but you're not going to be able to do it on tires. I mean, you could do it on tires, but if you have someone behind you that's on fresh tires and you have 70, it's going to be not worth it at all. So we got T-Berg spins out there. I almost did that a few times myself for those of you that were watching the race. It's definitely really tricky. That's one of the easier turns on this track, and with it being so easy, you kind of overdrive it because you're so used to the difficult turns and really putting in a lot of steering input on that wheel. So that's unfortunate to see for him. It's going to stack these guys back up, and hopefully, we have King Shadow. Looks like he's way in the back here. He might have taken 4 tires while everyone else took 2. I'm not sure what happened there. And we have the green flag. Everyone's spaced out pretty well. You see the 6 car of Dallas Stars coming down low a little bit. Not sure if he's trying to fall to the back or just give space to everyone. And you also have muscle cars on the 78 starting on the front row there. So it's going to be interesting. We all know he's fast. He's talented. He overdrives turn 1. Citrus is going to stick it in there. We're going 3, 4 wide. Smartly, someone backs out of that one and only sends it 2. But Citrus is going to force the issue there, but it works out for him. He really takes advantage of some of these guys' slow starts. Or not so fast turn 1 as he's on the bumper. On the bumper, and he moves him out the way just enough and puts this guy in a really tough situation and kind of forces him to make a mistake there. So once again, we have Citrus driving through the field with the guys behind him bumper to bumper, door to door, trying to keep it as clean as they can. Looks like we have someone pitting that might have been muscle cars. Maybe he didn't pit on that last caution flag there. You have Citrus in first. You have Masopes in second in that 54 Twix Toyota. You have we have the 98 of Caps. It's good to see him running up there in the top 5 as he overdrives a little bit off in turn 1 there. Looks like T-Berg has regrouped a little bit, found himself passing Caps there. It looks like J-Mac is having some issues here. Really dropping down on the inside. He might be playing a strategy game here, kind of letting guys go. I'm not sure what that is. So we have T-Berg, who unfortunately got in a spin there and crashed his car, and a couple other guys there brought out the caution. He's made his way back up to 3rd. He's definitely got a fast car here. Now, if he could just get the handling under control, that'd be good. And I'm sure he has now that he's had the opportunity to pit. We have Caps over here in 4th. With Dude Redneck still up there in that top 5. It's great to see from him there. He's going to stick his nose on the inside of the 98, give him a sign that he's trying to get that position from him. He overdrives the corner a little bit, gets the Caps up there to the wall, and the 20 of Case Schmiller is going to take advantage of that overdrive there from Dude Redneck. Dude Redneck peeking his nose there, doesn't quite have the momentum. He's going to gain it here. He wisely checks out of 3 wide going to the tunnel turn. And the 7 car really misses spot there. J-Mac really misses his marks as well as Case Schmiller on the exit, and King Shadow's gonna pass them and really blow the doors off of these guys off the exit of the tunnel turn there. I wish I would have got his entry and the way he turned that one. That was a really good move by him. He must have saw it coming and prepared himself and checked up early on the entry there. Looks like we still have Citrus up in the lead. Looks like Muscle Cars has made his way out of the pits. So from about fourth on back, these guys are really just, you know, not really passing, but they're close enough that if anyone makes a mistake, that it's, you know, everyone else is going to capitalize on it. Caps was up there in the top 5 for a second. Had a little contact from another driver that kind of forced him up the hill into turn 1 a couple laps ago. Case Schmiller again is going to have to check up off the exit of the tunnel turn there, kind of kill his momentum, setting him up for turn 3 in the straightaway here. As the 8 car goes on the inside of him. You have Respect the Clout in the pits. Oh, and the 8 car! He gets sideways, saves it. I don't know how he did that. What a great save by the 8 car. That was kind of very similar to what we saw from T-Berg there when that first caution came out. It looks like that was for the stage. Looks like he might have overdrove that. Wow, what a save. So it looks like that's the end of stage 1. We have Citrus, Masopes, T-Berg, King Shadow, and Do Redneck. That's your top 5 for stage 1. Should be writing that down, that way I can keep track of points, but I can't. Go back into the chat here while we have a little bit of an intermission with these guys doing their setups. Pit changes. Yeah, some drivers are still a little bit over ambitious. But, you know, that's something we'll be working on, and there's a reason why, you know, we have different series with different people in it. Yeah, exactly, Dan. Yeah. They're not looking far enough ahead. They're looking in front of them on that bumper and not way ahead of them. Here we go, start of stage 2 here. We have Muscle Cars, as we saw him miss his pit on the first caution there and halfway through stage 1. And it came down, and he might have only had to either go on with 2 tires, or maybe he didn't have to take anything at all. If he didn't take anything at all, that might hurt him. But I'm pretty sure he took something. He had to have taken something, as knowing the rest of these guys probably had to take 4. Now you have Citrus here on the outside of turn 1. He's going to build some momentum up as the cars behind them kind of stack up a little bit. Masopes is going to follow that Chevy Camaro of the Citrus. Muscle Cars is going to be able to get into the gas as early as he wants to through that tunnel turn, so he's going to check up a little bit, loses momentum off at exit, as Masopes is going to be on the bumper of Citrus entering turn 3 here. If he could keep his car stable on that rumble strip there, and kind of loses a little bit off at exit, but that draft is going to help him out here, I'm sure. That being said, we'll go through the field here. Some of these guys are going too wide. You have King Shadow over here in 6th or 7th place. He's definitely got a fast car everywhere we go, so that's going to be someone to watch as well. And it looks like we still have Do Redneck in 5th, which is where he finished in stage 1. As T-Berg goes up the hill a little bit there. See if King Shadow can't capitalize on that, get some momentum here built up. As the 36 is going to have the 8 car behind him pushing him, so the 5 car is going to find himself in a little bit of disadvantage entering this tunnel turn. So to get his angle here. The 36 is really able to dive it down, but the 8 is not. With the 5 car inside of him, he's not really able to get that angle. As these guys are still battling in the lead, you have Dude Redneck all the way up to 3rd now. That's really impressive to see. He's had a little bit of trouble at one point in this season. You know, we saw him yesterday at Dover really making some good moves, or at least good decisions. And he's fast tonight. So really excited to see that. We have T-Berg that's still up there. He's been up there all race, proving that he has one of the cars to beat. But right now, it's the 9 and the 54 up front. The 9 and the 54 up front, bumper to bumper. They're racing, and still no one's really able to catch. Oh, and the 5 gets loose off the exit of 1 there. I'm not sure if Sporty Morty got into his bumper there, but it looked like he just got completely loose on his own. And that's a really weird place for, you know, just us to get loose on this game. But in real life, that's very common. Oh, that's going to be a tough one for him. Hopefully he can bring it down pit road and stay on the lead lap. And if he doesn't, then hopefully he can stay the first car down a lap. And come back and regroup for stage 3 as we see Do Redneck kind of misses marks there on turn 3 as it looks like, who's that black car? I can't quite tell. It looks like T-Berg had an opportunity to go on inside of him. Oh, we have a move. Right after the start-finish line, you have the 8 car of Respected Clout making a heck of a move. With a little, oh wow, these guys are battling hard. As I say that, one person does one thing and the other guy does the next, and they're really battling hard here. They might have about 5 laps, so it was halfway through stage 2 here. These guys are still battling. They're going to be side by side entering the tunnel turn unless T-Berg wants to check up and get an angle. It looks like he does exactly that. Masopes hasn't really closed that gap too much there on the leader of the 9 of Citrus, as we see Dude Redneck really having to get out the gas and not keep that momentum up off the tunnel turn. And that's going to cost him, and it's going to allow Respected Clout in the 8 car, as we see T-Berg stick his nose under there. But on exit, that's really going to screw up Respected Clout. He really ran him up the hill. Respected Clout really saved himself there. Let off the gas and let T-Berg pass him. Man, that's a really boneheaded move there. And that was for position there at the stage, so maybe it's not that bad when you put that into perspective, unless there was a caution behind us there. But all in all, it's been great racing. We haven't really had too many incidents. We had King Shadow kind of get loose off of exit of 1 there, and oh, Respected Clout is the 7. Oh goodness, they must have changed the numbers on me. Yeah, they did. J-Mac, well, let me change that now, because that is not what I have on my roster. So thank you for letting me know. These guys might have organized something and changed their numbers without me knowing, which is completely fine. Now I just sound like an idiot. Well, more than I usually am. Okay, so that was a caution, Dan. Thank you. I need to go tune into Sporty Morty here. I gotta find out how many laps we have left. So here we have the restart. Citrus decides to go up high and try to get a low exit angle, as Masopes is probably holding onto his car, as his car is on an uneven surface there, and his splitter's dragging. That was really risky for him, as we see Muscle Cars finally able to regroup Masopes. Masopes tries to stick his car where it doesn't fit, and he kind of got into another guy there. The other guy kind of gave it to him, but not that he had much of a choice there, as we see... Wait, who's in what car now? Jesus, that's the 8 car, right? Or 36. Oh, goodness. That's the 36. The T-Berg goes for the lead there off the tunnel turn. He gets that momentum off of turn 2 to get under Citrus. But as he does that, he rides up the hill and kind of stacks his Citrus up a little bit. Masopes is going to find himself on the inside of a 3-car lane right here, not really having that draft to build up momentum. So he's going to slide all the way back from 2nd to 4th as he crosses the line and gets into turn 1 here. He's going to have Dude Redneck with a head of steam coming in here to turn 1. We have seen Dude Redneck kind of overdrive this corner, as we see Case Schmiller overdrives it and forces the 8 of J-Mac up the hill a little bit. Dude Redneck is able to keep himself out of that one, as it looks like that might be King Shadow in that black car behind us. Oh, and the Dude Redneck's going to go on the inside on the tunnel turn here. Masopes is wisely going to check up here and try a crossover, and it's going to work with Muscle Cars and Dude Redneck above him. He gives them just enough room to not force them into the wall, although it was their own mistake that they overdrove the corner. But everyone stays clean. It's going to give everyone the best opportunity to continue and fight for position here, as we see the 36 of T-Berg still out in the front. And oh, they're coming to the line here. Oh, that looks like that was stage 2 right there. So we have T-Berg side-by-side finish with Citrus there. And then we have Dude Redneck, and then possibly Muscle Cars as your top 5 there. Wow, what a great move by Masopes there to really kind of set them up and let them kind of be over ambitious, and the tunnel turn into turn 3 there. Wow, that was a great finish there by the leaders, and a great move by Masopes to keep his head on right and be able to think logically instead of emotionally on the last couple turns there, and really get himself some stage points. That was awesome. Man, I don't know how Mr. McCombs does this, man. This is too much talking. All right, here we go. The start of stage 3 here. We have T-Berg and Citrus on the front row. Just exactly how they finish, your top 5 remains the same. T-Berg gets a really good jump there at the green flag, and he might be able to clear Citrus here, and he doesn't quite do it. He tries to run up and get in front of him, but it's not going to work, so he wisely gets back down low on the inside lane And he did see Citrus use that high entry angle to really arc it in there. He tries to repeat that and duplicate that. He's going to be able to slide up in front of Citrus off the exit of turn 1 there. Citrus loses a little bit of momentum, and Miss Soaps in the 54 Toyota Supra is going to be able to capitalize on that and move up, at least up in front of Do Redneck as they enter the tunnel turn here. We hear some metal beating behind us. Not sure I want to see it, but we'll tune in and see what happens. The top 3, it does seem like the top 3 is kind of single filed out. As we tune into J-Mac here in the 8. Thanks for the correction earlier. I appreciate that. The 8 car of J-Mac is here in the 7th place. We do know that he has a fast car here. He might need a little bit of better luck than he's had thus far. As you see Case Schmiller right in front of him, and they're really lined up trying to close that gap on the leaders in front of them. Try to give themselves an opportunity to, first of all, you know, save your fire, save your fuel and tires. Oh, and Case Schmiller gets loose off at exit of 1, and thank goodness J-Mac was on the inside of him, because that would have been really bad for J-Mac and probably would have ended his chances here, as Case Schmiller kind of lets off the gas there a little bit. That way they don't go too wide into the tunnel turn. That's just going to benefit them both here on the exit, as J-Mac gets a heck of a run on the 54, as the 54 and the 92 were battling on the entry of the tunnel turn. J-Mac is able to take 2 positions in pretty much 1 corner there. If you can keep the momentum off at exit of 3 here, and if you can keep that 54 Masopes on his bumper, they might be able to close this gap just a little bit more, knowing that they're both fast. Looks like T-Berg is still in the front. We have Citrus in the 9, and Do Redneck is just consistently staying up there. He hasn't led a lap yet, and as I say that, he's going to dive his car down. Oh, down on the apron where it's flat. There's no banking to help him turn, and that's really going to screw him up, and that's going to hurt Citrus a little bit. But that's only going to help J-Mac, because he's now passed 3 cars in 1 lap. 3 cars in 1 lap at Pocono. That is not easy to do. As he comes up there on the entry, he doesn't mess up his angle. No, it looks like he has a great entry angle there. At the 92 and the leader of the T-Berg in 36, both screw up on exit of turn 2 in the tunnel turn. And J-Mac has now passed 5 cars in 1 lap to assume the lead here at Pocono. Wow, what a move. And it looks like he brings the 54 with him that he just passed the lap prior. Wow, J-Mac has really been consistent and clean, and that's really paid off. As he's out in the front, the only thing about that is that now the guys behind him have the draft, just like he did. Now he has to count on himself being clean. As we see the 78 of muscle cars still up there in the top 3. Chevy, Toyota, Toyota, Chevy, Chevy, Chevy. Wow, what a race this far, guys. This is awesome. As they entered the tunnel turn here, you have Masopes hooked up to the bumper of the leader in that 8 car of J-Mac. You have Muscle Cars ran the high side of that. Might have missed his entry mark there. Kind of cost him a position. You have the 36 of T-Berg is going to really try to make a run back up to the front. But you can't help but wonder what kind of damage the 36 and the 9 have after hitting that wall. It didn't seem like it was too severe, but we all know too well that you get a little bit of damage, your car gets tighter. Your tires start to wear a little bit. As Masopes goes on the inside, he's got to run. He's going to stick his nose on the inside of turn 1 here, on the inside of J-Mac. He's going to keep it down low. It's going to stick for him. He's going to slide up. Is J-Mac going to be able to cross over on exit? Is he going to have the momentum? No, he's not. So Masopes makes a great move on turn 1 there. But they're all still bunched up. It's anyone's game right now, anyone's race right now. Masopes gets a great entry there. You had the 36 of T-Bird kind of dove it under the 8 car a little bit, and that kind of hurt him momentum. So now he's going to get shuffled back just like those guys did when they were in the lead and he was in the back of that lead pack. So it does seem like it's going to be a little bit of a leapfrog until someone can really separate, or until someone makes a mistake and kind of gives a gap between everyone here. We'll see how this plays out as we tune back in to T-Berg over here in P2. Muscle Cars, it's great to see him still up there, battling for the top 5 spot in that lead group. T-Berg's got a nice paint scheme there, a class of 2020. So shout out to our graduates in every educational level. Also my fellow GED graduates, shout out to y'all, GED 2020. It's been a great battle here, as we've seen for the last 4 or 5 laps, we've had the leaders kind of, as I say that, Masops is going to brush the wall and give an opportunity for T-Bird to get on his bumper, but they're not as stacked up as they were early. So it does seem like the 36 and the 54 are able to separate themselves. If they could just work together here, they might be able to give themselves a cushion and later on battle for that top 2 position, as it looks like T-Bird is going to do it. Well, he didn't really have much of a choice as Masops gave him the outside on that front stretch. It does seem like T-Bird doesn't want to battle too much and give these guys an opportunity to catch up, as I'm sure he sees them battling side by side, 2 wide, 2 by 2 in his mirror. Oh, if someone gets loose off the exit of 1 there. It's been a great showing from T-Bird here. He's definitely put on a show this far, or at least. Oh, and as he hits the wall, man, the broadcaster's jinxing and bad luck there. Broadcaster's curse, I guess. So now this is an opportunity for Masops in the lead in that 54 Toyota Supra. He's going to be able to, or at least have the opportunity to kind of pull away. If he can kind of break that draft there and not kill his own momentum too much, as we see J-Mac catching back up to that leader there. Now he's going to be challenging T-Bergen for P2 in that 36. As we check back in with Dude Redneck. Still running that middle line here at in turn 1 here at Pocono. He's kept himself relatively clean here. He's kind of kept himself in contention, not really passing too many people, but not really ruining his own chances at the same time. And he's pretty much been in top 5 the entire race here. He's really got to figure out how, if he really wants to win this. Well, if these guys keep racing side by side, he's not going to have to do too much in order to catch up to them. But if he's going to want to win this race at the end, he's going to really have to work on backing up those corners a little bit and letting it roll and not getting into that gas too quick, because it does seem he kills his own momentum a little bit. And as I say that, the 8 car and the 36 both follow each other, follow the leader up into that wall, and they brush the wall at the exit of turn 3. So now we're going to have Masops, once again, after having these guys catch up to him, he's going to have an opportunity with them still racing side by side, as we see Dude Redneck overdrive a little bit, and Muscle Cars gets right on his right rear bumper. Wisely checks up in order to not cost himself any points here as well. So overall, these guys are really battling really hard here. It does seem like the draft is coming into play here, as we see the high lane really helping Citrus get up there. Oh, and Citrus really battling for that lead there. Just a crossover on that exit of the tunnel turn. He's going to file back in behind Masops entering turn 3 as they all get back single filed. He's going to overdrive that. He's going to cut it down low on the exit to see if he can't get that front straightaway. Oh, he gets loose as he hits the rumble strip, and he takes out T-Berg in the 36. Muscle Cars and the 78 gets caught into that, and the 54 Masops gets a little bit of contact as well. I'm not sure if that doesn't look like that's going to bring out a caution, so that's very unfortunate. I'm not sure if he got loose there or he was expecting to pit, but it definitely looked like he hit that rumble strip as we saw T-Berg do earlier in the race, and kind of send his car, the back end, out, and there's not really too much you could do to save it at that point. So that's gonna give the 54 and the 8 of J-Mac an opportunity to really separate themselves here, as we see. I think the pit cycles are starting to near ever closer here. Some of these guys are going to be coming in, and that's really unfortunate for someone else's mistake to really hurt you in your race when you're not doing too much to really risk it. As a lot of those guys were being fairly safe, and they weren't really forcing the issue, which is really nice to see after the last couple of weeks in the Xfinity Series here in White Knuckle Racing. These guys were really trying not to be too risky and risk everything, but all it takes is one person's mistake. You know, not that it's on purpose, but mistakes happen, and that's racing. And you know, now they're gonna have to figure out, you know, keep their heads cool and stick with it. As we see J-Mac going on the high side of the tunnel turn here, that might be by design, as Masops might think that, you know, he can't pass him on the high side of the tunnel turn. As we've seen that a few times, that Masops really gets down in there. He sticks it this time, and he slides up. So it does look like someone else got loose back there. It might have been Dude Redneck off the tunnel turn. As we see the 78 of Muscle Cars really driving it into that corner. I do believe he might be on fresher tires. I could be mistaken. I think he was the car that was exiting as the leaders were coming around here. 13 to go this time by. I'm not sure how late I am reading that one. So we have just over 10 laps to go. So with 22 laps in the final, I think it was 22. Could be mistaken. So these guys should be coming down pit road any second now. As we see, Muscle Cars is really trying to get his lap back as soon as he can because he knows it's time to go. He lost a little bit of time there on that last pit entry with that little incident. So he is fighting for the leader here, or fighting with the leader for his lap. But he does know that the leader's going to have to pit here, so he's trying not to fall back too much. As he tries to give a signal to the leader, hey, let me go on the inside. I know you have to pit. I got fresher tires here. Or does he? I'm pretty sure he does have the fresher tires. I'm not sure if it's for position. I think it's just for lap. As we see, the 54 is going to let him go and do exactly that. Let him go. And J-Mac is going to send it on pit entry. He's going to really close that gap and take that position from the 54. Hopefully he doesn't get a black flag here. And if he doesn't, and if that was clean and all good, that was a great pit entry for him. You could tell he really wanted that position and to close that gap. And we'll see how that plays out here. Knowing that on that last lap when those guys pitted, that they all got into a little bit of trouble, a little bit of contact there. So that might help J-Mac out a lot as we see them absolutely demolition derby in the pit road. But we'll skip that. Trying to figure out who would be up on this lead lap here. I would assume Do Redneck would be one of the guys that's going to be taking up the lead here as these guys exit pit road. We'll keep an eye on him as these guys should be exiting any second now. As we do, they're coming out right in front of him. Looks like Masopes does end up beating J-Mac off of pit road with the 9 right behind them. So that's not good news for Dude Redneck as he has a lap, at least one lap older tires as we see them side by side exiting turn 1 there, getting the cars up to speed and really trying to drive away from the rest of these field. So what that tells me is that incident that happened I think with Citrus really affected not only him but everyone else behind him as these leaders now have a big enough gap where they can race side by side for 11 laps. You know, from here on out, that's it. These guys are going for it, man. As we say that, you can see Masopes entering turn 3 here with J-Mac above him, the ever dangerous turn 3. You'd think that 1 and 2 are really the more difficult turns, but like I said earlier, that turn 3 is so easy that sometimes you kind of overdrive and you get overconfident. So right now we have 54 and the 8. 54 of Masopes and the 8 of J-Mac up in the front. We have Citrus, I believe, in P3. Dude Redneck in 4th. And King Shadow in 5th coming off of turn 1 there. You can see the 54 stay down low to try to break that draft. He knows that the laps are winding down here. And if he can just give J-Mac the least amount of opportunity to catch up to him. But as you do that, focusing on your mirror and focusing on the other guy's lines, you really want to make sure you hit your own marks. This track is called the Tricky Triangle, and it didn't get that name for no reason. You miss your lines by 10, 20 feet, and as we see the 8 car really cuts it close off at exit of 3. I don't think he got into that wall, but boy, did he use every inch of that track on exit to keep that momentum up. Might have hurt him just a little bit there as we see Masopes really breaking away and trying to really utilize the wide stretch straightaways here to break that draft between him and the 8 of J-Mac. It doesn't seem as if Citrus is really caught too much. I don't believe that these guys really have too much of a reason to be saving tires or fuel at this point, as they were the later cars or the later group to pit. As you see Masopes, and as I say that, I was just about to say that he really widened that gap a little bit, but as we say that, he misses that line, driving out that mirror, like I just mentioned. He misses his entry, he misses his marks on the tunnel turn, as it looks like he does the same here on turn 3. So he really gave J-Mac another opportunity to get back up to him after he worked so hard to break that draft after coming out of the pit cycle there and coming out in the front. He's going to really have to refocus here and reanalyze what he wants to do. What's his strategy? Is he going to worry about blocking, or is he going to worry about running his own lines? And that's easy to say up here in the booth, but, you have someone else on your bumper. You kind of don't have too much of a choice but to look into that mirror and kind of base your lines off of what they're doing. So Masopes is, towards the second half of this race, he's been a lot better here on this tunnel turn here. So if he can get that same entry and really stick it this time and wait a little bit, get back in the gas, And it looks like him and J-Mac both nailed the tunnel turn there. So that's a great job by J-Mac. There's no doubt that these two cars have been really some of the faster cars throughout the entire race here. And I hate to really be focused on them too much in the front, but they're just battling so well. I can't really turn the cameras away and get some of these other guys quote-unquote TV time. You know, it's been a battle for the lead the entire race here, really. So we see J-Mac taking that middle entry, and Masopsky on the inside. We'll have to check up a little bit to not lose his car too much. J-Mac might have the momentum coming off an exit here. As these guys race side by side, that's only going to make it easier for Citrus to catch up to them. But in order to catch up to somebody and these guys who are fast, you have to hit your corners perfectly, which is exactly what J-Mac does not do. And Masops himself makes a little bit of a mistake there, as they both hit it perfectly last lap, the tunnel turn, and then this lap they both make very minor mistakes, which pays huge dividends for Citrus and P3, really closing that gap on these guys. And it's going to be a 3-car race here, as I do believe they all have the same exact tires, as J-Mac off exit at 3 is going to try to break that draft, just like Masops did. Citrus really had momentum off of 3. He's going to stay up high and not lose his own momentum that he's built up on his own without this guy's draft. And you see Muscle Cars, knowing that the leaders are coming by, he's going to pull himself onto the inside wisely and let them battle it out and not be a part of the equation here. But he'll keep himself close enough that way if anything does happen, he will be the first car a lap down. I do think he's the first car a lap down. As you see Citrus kind of letting off early on that corner and not being too aggressive, knowing that he's going to have the draft to really close that gap here on all 3 of these long straightaways here at Pocono. He's not going to risk it. He's not going to put any damage on his car to hurt his downforce or handling or anything like that. They're coming to the line here. Can't help but to think they might only have 2 or 3 to go here. I can't really imagine they have too much more than that. As we see J-Mac entering turn 1 with Masops in P2 with Citrus right on his bumper. Now, as we see there, I was just about to tell you guys that one thing I really noticed in that race prior in the Xfinity B series is that when you have a car in your bumper there, it may not give you a draft effect so much on the screen as far as like the blue, but it really did make my car tighter. As we say that, J-Mac kind of misses his lines there because of the lap car, letting the lap car go. He gets a little loose off an exit there. Then Citrus is able to keep it straight, but hopefully he can regroup here. As we see the 54 really getting a great entry into turn 3 there. He's not going to be able to keep the momentum off an exit, but he is going to keep himself close enough. I think these guys should be able to make it. I was able to make it last race. I'm not sure what lap they pitted on. I don't have that information. As we see Citrus really going up high, he's really not diamond, but he's gonna get that low exit and really get that momentum on the straightaway here, setting himself up to make a move here on the tunnel turn. We're getting updates here that the top 2 drivers can make it. Citrus thinks he can. As we see J-Mac having to get out the gas, and the 54 gets the loose off the exit of the tunnel turn. So a combination of J-Mac. Oh, and he wrecks! Is that going to bring out the caution? Let's hope not. It looks like Citrus is going to pass him here as we have J-Mac racing on his mirror there on entry of turn 3. Kind of messes up his line, and Citrus is going to assume the lead here. So we saw Citrus there really watching these guys, and you can kind of tell that he's just kind of waiting for them to make a mistake. J-Mac having to check up might have changed Masops' exit line a little bit, and that might have cost him to get loose. Having had that muscle memory and the habit of the exit, doing it over and over again, and having to switch up so late in the race, cost him a little bit. Actually, it cost him a lot. He wrecked, and there goes his chances after having really, I would say, possibly the strongest car, at least a top 3 car all race long. Citrus is going to see the gap between him and P2 of J-Mac really close down and really shorten here a little bit. 2 to go at the line here. Thank you, Dan. So here we go. We have Citrus in P1. We have J-Mac in P2. P3 is way back there. Looks like that's T-Berg with a little bit of damage on his car. He's had a great night. Hopefully he can salvage some points here. As we see entering turn 1, J-Mac is right on the bumper of Citrus. Let's see what kind of lines they run. I'm pretty sure all these guys are going to run very similar lines at this point of the race. At this point, that you should be used to your car's handling on the long runs, or ill handling. As you see, J-Mac really had an opportunity to pass Citrus here. He could have put himself on the inside entering this tunnel turn, but it does seem like J-Mac is very confident in his cars. It looks like Citrus makes a little bit of a mistake there. He enters that corner a little bit too early and isn't able to roll through like he really wanted to. I was going to say that J-Mac must have a lot of confidence in his car, being able to make a last lap pass here, giving himself, giving Citrus the opportunity to not be passed there, entering turn 2 there on the tunnel turn. As we take the white flag here, and here we go. We have J-Mac in the lead. Entering turn 1, let's see if these guys can stay mistake-free. It's not necessarily being the fastest car out there, but usually just running the cleanest laps. We all know how hard it is to ooh, he might have got loose there. Maybe he's trying to break the draft. It's going to give Citrus an opportunity here to close the gap a little bit and keep that momentum off the exit. He's going to slide up back in front of Citrus in that 9 car. So here we have the 8 and the 9 entering the tunnel turn. It looks like J-Mac gets a beautiful entry there. And Citrus is going to really have to send it into this corner and hope it sticks if he wants any chance at winning this race here. And he looks like he's tries. He's going to have some momentum coming down low off the exit of turn 3. But I do not think it's going to be enough. J-Mac exiting turn 3 in P1 with Citrus in P2 there. Was that it, or is this the last lap? Oh, that was the race. Congratulations, J-Mac. Wow, what a race by these guys, and Masopes as well. Almost this entire race there. Man, that was awesome. Congratulations, J-Mac. Citrus, you had a good race there. Recovering from that incident, I think it might have been you or the 74. I'm not entirely sure. Masopes had a great car tonight. It looks like T-Berg was able to salvage the top 3 after leading and getting himself into some trouble in this race. Tell you what, all this commentating or wannabe commentating really takes a toll. So, quick shout out to our regular broadcasters out there, man. It takes a lot of work. Going to see if I can't get J-Mac, Citrus, and T-Berg in here into the booth here. Oh, goodness. So bear with me, guys. That was a great race there, especially from how far we've come throughout the season there. I'm really proud of those guys. That was a great showing. Couldn't really ask for much more. I had a lot of fun watching that. Hopefully you guys did too. We get these guys in here in a few seconds. All right. What's going on, T-Berg? Just stand by a moment here. Hopefully I can get some confirmation for the few of you guys that are watching. If you guys can just comment real quick and make sure that you guys can hear these guys for the interview, the post-race interviews here. Oh man. Yeah, we saw that. We saw that up there. Well, that's unfortunate. You did have I think you had one of the cars to beat tonight. Unfortunately, it didn't go your way. But hopefully you could build on some momentum that you had there. At least knowing that you had the car, and just sometimes you gotta have the luck too, and there's nothing you could do about it. So I hate that happened to you, man. Hey, thanks for being a part of it, man. You definitely put on a show and proved yourself. So come back next week, and hopefully you can have a better result for yourself there. All right, hey, have a good one. All right, we have J Mac in here. J Mac, you get the win. How's it feel? Awesome, man. Congratulations. You definitely put on a show, and it wasn't exactly easy for you. Watching you for majority of the race, you and a couple of the other guys were really up front all race long, but it wasn't an easy race to win, and really not only you didn't really have to fight through the field too much, but I think staying up in the front was just as hard as anything. Hmm. Oh,
Stage, I'd fallen all the way back to like 10th, and then tried to fight my way back up through there, and
all right.
I still think I was like 6th or 8th at the end of that second stage. So
I'm
I mean, it
gonna
was
I'm
fun there
gonna
on that
I'm gonna
last
cut
one.
you off 1 second. That way we can get your audio issue or audio settings correct. That way we can actually hear you in this interview here. Actually, no, they can hear you now. Disregard. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I
No
just want to make sure we
problem.
get it right.
All right. So you got that first part there then?
Yeah, we got that.
Okay, yeah. So, but it was fun there. I had a lot of fun racing with Miss Soaps. It was unfortunate that we made a little contact there, but it was good racing right up to the end. Last lap battle with Citrus there. It was good stuff.
Yeah, man, it was definitely fun to watch there. We had some clear-cut favorites. You being one of them, Soaps being one of them. Citrus, obviously, you guys, the 4 or 5 cars that were up there the entire race. So yeah, it's unfortunate to see Soaps get loose and a little bit of contact from you off that tunnel turn there. But overall, it was a great race. Was there ever a moment in time that you either knew you had it in the bag, or were you worried at any point that you might not be able to get it?
I wouldn't say I was worried, and I definitely didn't have it in the bag. There's just a lot of draft at this track, and
Hmm.
I mean, my car was actually in that race the best it had felt all week. Made some adjustments, and the tires were wearing more evenly than I had gotten them to wear all week. So I was really good on the long run. So I like that it finished that way.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Do you think some of that might have had something to do with more cars on track and more draft, or maybe just a coincidence that it happened?
Uh, I mean, I think it's just you got all these good guys out here, and just all the draft. I mean, I think you could feel the draft even with a couple cars on the track, and
Right.
the side draft is a pretty big role in here right now too. So
All right.
the racing was good for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, gonna have hiccups just like in any league, in any race, any track. But once again, congratulations on your win here, and did a great job.
Yep, thank you, Rich. Appreciate
Awesome. Great to hear, man. Citrus, you got a copy? What's up, Citrus? I know you're really looking forward to this track. You got a second place finish there. I'm sure it's not exactly what you were wanting. Is you're one of those guys that's win or bust, but hopefully you're able to be happy with this finish here, and you really had a strong car there. So take us through kind of what you were thinking throughout the race and how it went for you and your team.
Well, I'm going to go along the lines of this. I was practicing since we were supposed to run Mid-Ohio, and you told me that it was canceled.
Hmm.
I spent from that time forward all the way till now just to finish second. What
Yeah, I
should have
mean, what is that?
happened
2 weeks?
was, uh, t-
It's about
let's
that's
see,
about 10 to
second at
13
Atlanta,
days.
second at Atlanta, second at Richmond, second here. I
Hey,
am
man.
like
I
just
mean,
tired of finishing second.
yeah, but you got to hang in there. I mean, there's a lot of. I'm pretty sure every other guy would rather be in your shoes right now. So can't be too negative about it. I mean, you can be. It doesn't matter. But it's still a great finish, a great showing. Something happened early in the race. It wasn't necessarily your fault. You got loose off of turn 3 there, and it kind of
Yeah,
cost some other guys. You
T-Bird
know,
was claiming that I wrecked him, which I
whatever.
didn't.
That's not
I'm not
something.
too concerned about it. He says he's gonna race me harder than the rest of the season. Fine by me.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, see,
I'm
so for
completely okay
example, you're
with it.
complaining about having only top twos, where other guys are wishing they were in that seat or in that position. So congratulations on your second place there.
I'm
Um,
not happy about it, but
all right. Well,
simple as
hopefully you
that.
can get a position that you're happy with next week. And hopefully that no one costs you to not get lower than second, because then you'll probably be really, really mad.
If I get second again, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well, hopefully you don't get third. We don't want you to cry too much, right?
I'd be fine with third than second at this point.
All right, well, congratulations. Have a good night.
You too.
Sporty Marty, you here?
I am here.
All right, man. How'd that race go for you? I know you're really, really excited about this track. I know in the pre-race I did mention it might have been your home track. I'm not sure if I was accurate with that.
Very close to it. It's very close to it. Yep.
So I know you like Citrus. Sorry to cut you off. I know you like Citrus. There, we're really looking forward to this track and putting a lot of hours in. As I'm sure most of the field probably was, as they do week in and week out. You weren't necessarily up there in the beginning. I would say not in the top 5 for maybe stage 1 and stage 2. Kind of walk us through how you worked your way up to the front there.
So I was trying to channel my inner Jose protege for the first stage at least, and it seemed that everybody saved a little bit more quicker than I did. I was trying to, save like the first 2 or 3 laps and then go, and they just got so far ahead that it wasn't enough time for me to catch back up. Stage 2, I made one mistake out of the tunnel turn, I think on the second lap, and that screwed over my whole stage. And then in the third stage, I knew if I can make it on one stop, I would come out clean, and then that's what happened. And then 3 laps to go, I got around Masopes and Do Redneck, and I knew that it was most likely a third-place finish. And if you watch my stream, it was please Citrus and J-Mac wreck somewhere, because I was 14 seconds back. So, but I was happy with a third, because in all honesty, my points races have not been great. So a third place is perfectly okay with me.
Yeah, I definitely hear that personally. Rich Rat on the track, not so much in the booth or in the hauler. But I definitely take the points when I can get them, because sometimes being back there, you kind of just realize that these points don't just fall into your lap, So, some people have different personalities, and it's nice to see someone being happy with a third place, or at least content with a third place finish and third place points, knowing coming up to this race that they were really excited to win the race. You had this one circled since the schedule came out.
Yeah, I didn't qualify well, which didn't really help me. I tried to drop to the back, and I was starting P1 in qualifying because I set up the lobby. So if I kind of ran how I should have probably run, I would have qualified higher than I did. I think I was 8th. So putting me on the outside further back in the field, I'm going to get freight trained, at least through the tunnel turn.
Right.
And by that point, stage 1, if you're down by 2 or 3 seconds, it's kind of hard to come back regardless.
Right.
So you get thrown back there. I tried strategy play. There's a caution there late in the first stage where I didn't come to pit road and got freight trained down the front stretch. So
you bring up an interesting point when you said leading up into that, setting up the lobby for qualifying. I personally feel like it affects my qualifying times. I'm not a very ambitious driver, so it doesn't bother me. Do you feel like it might have affected you a little bit, that you might have been able to use that draft to your advantage if you hadn't set up the lobby and started in P1?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can see where if you're starting in the back, you definitely have an advantage, especially on a track like this. If you're qualifying P1 at Martinsville, or starting in the front for qualifying at Martinsville, obviously you're going to have an advantage there. You have a clean racetrack, you can just go.
Right.
But on a track like this where the draft is essential, like I think I was 54.6 or 54.5 for my qualifying lap, and Miss Soaps and Citrus were 53 high.
Oh, wow. That's a huge difference there.
Yeah. And that's just because I tried to drop to the back.
Right.
If I had stayed in the front, I run a 54 low, 53 high. It's what happens.
All right, well, I guess you won't be setting up any more lobbies from here on out. And maybe I won't be setting them up for Cup either.
Yeah, but again, I do whatever needs to be done.
Yep.
Doesn't bother me. Where are we next week?
Next week, I do believe we are Cup is Chicago, Xfinity is Chicago, and Trucks and Dirt should be at Eldora.
Well, there you go. That's not a draft track, so if I set up the lobby, I'm going for it.
Yep. Well, again, congratulations, your top 3 finish there on the podium. Personally, I'd like to thank you for setting up this lobby on a little bit of short notice there. It really worked out very smooth. So
I'll
thank
do
you
it
for
every
that.
week if you want. So
Yeah,
not a
I
problem.
probably will with my schedule changing up here soon. For those of you guys watching, make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Uh, James McCombs will be broadcasting our Cup race, and you can find his link on our website at whiteknuckleracing.net. We'll be racing at Indianapolis tomorrow. We're doing the Cup race at Indy. So again, you guys follow us on Instagram, Twitter, White Knuckle RCN. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. Thank you again, Sporting. Congratulations to all our drivers signing and having a great race.
Of course.